It's time to BS.
Time now for the start of the Time to BS NFL preview series, where we'll do this on a week-by-week basis. And I figured I would start things off here with the NFC South, because that division was garbage. That division was hot, stinking garbage, man. It was so bad. And I figured that I would start off with the, figuratively speaking, worst team in that division, and the team that had the worst record in the entire NFL, that even had the first overall pick. The Carolina Panthers, who finished last season with a record of 2-15. Bryce Young's rookie year. They have a new head coach and a new GM. Dan Morgan is the new GM, taking over for Scott Fitterer, who did a horrible job. And Dave Canales, who is the new head coach. By the way, former Seahawks quarterback coach Dave Canales, by the way. Shout out, boys. I don't know what to think of this club. I genuinely do not know. Part of me wants to root for the fact that the Panthers are going to be better. Part of me also wants to think that the Panthers are going to downright suck. If anyone's going to have a sophomore bump, as some people would say, it's Bryce Young, because that dude is talented. He has shown flashes of brilliance. But I will give Carolina credit here for this. They hired the young, inexperienced coach, and they're basically saying, okay, we're going to hire the young gun and develop this kid because we trade up a lot to get him. And we're going to do that. And we're going to develop this kid because he's our franchise, whether people like it or not. And David Tepper, shut the hell up. I think the Carolina Panthers improve a little bit, but won't improve by much. I don't think this record stays where it is. I think it improves a little bit. Next up, we have the New Orleans Saints, who, would you believe me if I told you the Saints finished last season with 9 wins, top 10 in offense, top 10 in defense, and still missed the playoffs? How impressive is that? Dennis Allen, the head coach of the New Orleans Saints, I thought Dennis Allen was the kind of right hire in that regard. But, I really don't know if you can point the finger at Dennis Allen here for if the Saints missed the playoffs last season. There are some people that will not take Derek Carr slander. I say screw you because I can point the finger at Derek Carr whether people like it or not. Derek Carr deserves a bit of the blame, and I wouldn't be shocked if the Saints go quarterback in next year's draft. I think this record remains the same. I think the Saints still, I don't know where to put them. I really don't know. New Orleans reminds me of a team that's stuck on a hamster wheel. I just generally don't know what to think of them. Next up, the Atlanta Falcons, who finished last season with a 7-10 record. They fired Arthur Smith. They proceeded to hire their former interim head coach in Raheem Morris, who was the Rams defensive coordinator for a number of years, won a Super Bowl with the Rams, and I thought this roster was good. They signed Kirk Cousins, and then they proceed to draft Michael Penix in the first round. Like, what are you doing? But then again, I'm not the smart person here. I'm not the one that's in charge of a football team. Thank God for that. But I look at their roster and I think, okay, offensively they look good. Drake London, Darnell Mooney, and Rondell Moore at receiver. They got a half-decent line, I want to say. Quarterback play, if Cousins, for God's sakes, doesn't work out, then sure, go to Penix and let that kid cook. The defense, they got to be better. They have got to be better. Jesse Bates has proved to be a good deal. AJ Terrell's fantastic. They got Mike Hughes from Detroit, Antonio Hamilton from the Cardinals. Sure. I think if they're going to improve anywhere, it's going to be offensively. Defensively, they weren't half bad. Defensively, they were not half bad, but offensively, they need to be better. Next up, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay Buccaneers finished last season as the AFC South champions, and with a 9-8 record. Oh boy. So that's just fantastic. Sure, Tampa. Sure. I don't know where to put them either. Like, this whole division to me is just downright confusing. Because you have two teams that realistically could win that division. Tampa, and in my eyes, the Falcons. But Tampa re-signed Baker Mayfield to a long-term deal, re-signed Mike Evans to a long-term deal, and it looks like they have their quarterback of the future. Probably. Shout out to Baker Mayfield, because that man finally has a home after being dick slapped by the Browns and traded to Carolina for God knows reasons why. Shout out to Deshaun Watson. And has since done pretty well for the Bucs. I will give Todd Bowles some credit here, but this is one of those, you flip a coin here and or throw a dart against the wall and see where it sticks. That's where Tampa is to me. Tampa's in the same boat as New Orleans. Just throw a dart and see where it sticks. But I will pick my winner for the NFC South, and that to me is Atlanta. I think Atlanta's going to be a little bit better than where they were last year. Kirk Cousins helps. Kirk Cousins does help. And so does Michael Penix. They sure. Let's go with that. I will give Atlanta the victory here, and they should be better. They should be a lot better this season. Having a defensive head coach, Raheem Morris, and offensively, they please, for the love of God, be better. Please, for the love of mankind and all that's holy in this world, please be better. I swear, they should be better.